We have a very special individual in the audience tonight, and Penelopy doesn't even know this, but Maggie Inge is here. Yes, can you believe that? Maggie Inge, where are you, Maggie? Stand up, please. Please come on up. I did not know that she was going to be here tonight. We have been looking for her. Maggie, I mean, I get goosebumps because when I first met Maggie and heard her story about being held at gunpoint, I just couldn't believe it. But this whole film has been a discovery. Maggie, come on up. Maggie has never seen this film before, so this is her first time, and she's probably shaking because she's learned a lot about Up With People from watching it every year. Maggie traveled for how many years?
4 years.
4 years.
From 67 to 71. So, and then I left, and that was it.
And that was it.
Well, it's sort of like Linda. Didn't hear from anybody, didn't talk to anybody or anything until for 35 years.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask a question? What did you think?
Of the movie?
Yes.
Oh, I'm amazed.
Are you?
Yes. No, I am. It's very balanced about what I think was an often unbalanced sort of experience. Because I think at whatever point people were in it and whatever, you know, it evolved and it changed and it was different at different points, and you really brought that all together without compromising, I think, some of the integrity of the individuals that were participating. And that was.
But you were awesome.
Oh,
you were just terrific. Thank you so much for being part of the film. And Maggie lives in the Catskills, so we had to go and drag her out in the middle of a barn area and say, "Please tell us your story." So thank you for doing that.
I have two questions. One is I really don't understand how it's possible to have so many young people together. I mean, there were, and them not being sexual with each other. I don't know what did they tell you?
Everyone was as naive as I was.
No, but how did they manage that?
Calisthenics. Exercise. They were busy all the time. They were running around 24 hours a day, literally. A lot of work.
Is that all? No messages, no brainwashing?
Oh, there were bus dates, But if you were caught holding hands, kissing, doing anything like that, you were shipped home in the middle of the night. I mean, it was strict. Yeah. But the interesting thing, I got to admit, since we are at Newfest, the interesting thing of some of the stories that I've heard is that because the guys and the gals were all separated, those who were smart enough to figure out how to utilize that, planned their host family adventures and meetings ahead. But if they got caught, that's when the shunning and everything else happened, or they were kicked out and sent home.
Being very busy and being driven by a mission. I mean, I think I don't. I'm almost 60 years old now, and I still believe that there is a potential for human beings, for us to be better than we've been. And that mission drove me when I was 16 years old and saw my first show. And with the energy of childhood, and it was, or youth, we believed we could make a difference. And when you have that kind of driving energy and you're on a schedule that keeps you busy from about 8 in the morning until midnight, and I mean busy, we would be up, we would do a couple of shows someplace during the day, then we would have a show at night, then we would break down the set, we'd be on the bus, we'd be off to the next city, or we were traveling. There was no downtime. And, there was no downtime.
Missionary work too, right?
And it was like missionary work.
I'd like to ask Maggie, what do you talk about with somebody who's brandished a shotgun at you all night? I wanted...
What's the end of the story?
What
What happened?
His family, his family had come to the show. He had not. And when I started singing, his children came out of their bedrooms. They were all down the hall waiting and watching because they knew what was going on. They knew Daddy was sitting there with a shotgun. And when I started singing, his wife and children came out. And we spent the night talking. And it was a life-changing event. I mean, I can't even talk about it now without choking up. And we talked about what it was to be a human being.
Well, wouldn't you say that's what the power of Up With People was, though, in spite of everything else, the one-on-one connection?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why when I said on film about the question of making a difference, we made a difference one person at a time. I mean, the show did whatever it did, and it touched people in whatever way, but it really was about one person connecting with another person. Sometimes it was from a stage, and sometimes it was in front of a shotgun.